Hello, booze and ghouls. It's once again time for my Halloween series. This year for 2022, I am going nostalgic, at least for the people of my generation who grew up primarily in the 90s. I'm going with R.L Stine's Goosebumps books. For people of my generation, going to the Scholastic Book Fair, that was a huge deal, and Goosebumps was one of the top series. I was more of an Animorphs and Redwall man myself, but nonetheless, these are books that really bring back a lot of childhood memories for a lot of people my age. So this year, you're getting 6 Goosebumps books covered over 5 videos for the Halloween series. Trick or treat.
Well, the big day is finally here. Happy Halloween! Yay! So for this final video of my 2022 Halloween series, we're going to be talking about R.L. Stine's Goosebumps book, Return of the Mummy. As I had said with my video for Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, this was originally going to be a 2-part video coming out today, where I would talk about both of these books. But because I'm terrible at math and can't count, apparently, I miscounted how many Sundays there are in October 2022, because I put up a new video every Sunday, and then on Halloween itself, you get the final installment. So, just going to be talking about Return of the Mummy, which is an interesting title for the book because... Sorry, I'm fighting a cold still. It's not really a return of the mummy. It's a new mummy. We have a return of Gabe and Uncle Ben and Cousin Sari, but we don't have a return of the mummies from the original book, Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Instead, this is the next year. Gabe comes back to Egypt, this time by himself, without his parents, who are really only in the first, 12 pages of Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Anyway, Gabe comes back because Uncle Ben has discovered a new tomb, a tomb never before unearthed. And so Gabe is going to go sort of be there for the opening of that tomb. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of tropes and things that occur that are sort of recycled from Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Like at one point, Gabe falls through a wall into a sort of previously unknown antechamber where he has an unpleasant encounter with bugs. In Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, it was a nest of scorpions. In Return of the Mummy, it's just billions of spiders. So we've got those similar elements. We've got a lot of focus on the whole, don't get lost in the Great Pyramid. There's miles of tunnels. Don't separate from the group. But then inevitably, Gabe is like, oh, I had to stop and tie my shoe, and everybody else just pieced out and left me there, or whatever it is. We've got these elements that do get recycled, definitely. So there's a strong continuity between the two books. What's different here is that we very definitely have a mummy as antagonist. We have a mummy as the horror creature, the source of the terror, whereas in Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, it was primarily Ahmed, the human devotee of the ancient Egyptian priestess who posed the threat. Here, it actually is a mummy. So they are going in to open this tomb. I forget exactly who it is. Let me find the name here just a second. Prince Koru, who's a cousin of King Tut, King Tutankhamun. So they're going to open Koru's burial chamber, and this woman shows up named Neela, and she is a reporter. Yeah, she claims to be a reporter. We have... so she claims to be a reporter who wants to do a story about the tomb. She has a special interest in it. And basically she and Uncle Ben kind of become very flirty, etc., etc. Omar Fielding is the other sort of major character here because he's the one who kind of slightly takes on, or seems to take on, the position that Ahmed takes on in the original, because Omar Fielding, who's Uncle Ben's partner, warns everybody against opening the tomb, etc., etc. So we've got that, again, that recurring element here. But there's supposed to be a curse, or not a curse. There's supposed to be a chant that you can repeat a phrase 6 times and bring Koru's mummy back to life. So the phrase is, and I don't speak ancient Egyptian, so this is not necessarily pronounced correct, Teki Karu, Teki Kara, Teki Kari. At one point, Gabe, in an attempt to scare Sari, repeats the chant 6 times. And then stuff starts going weird. Omar Fielding shows up at their tent, and he's all like, I've got to find Ben. Then he goes off and finds Ben. They see Omar taking Ben into the pyramid. Gabe and Sari do, and they're like, this seems sketchy. Maybe we should go, investigate what's going on here and make sure that Omar is not up to some crazy shenanigans. So they attempt to do that. Omar, shortly after, comes out of the pyramid in this sort of weird daze and just like dashes past them. So they go into the pyramid to try and figure out what's going on. And then there's the mummy alive. So the mummy is alive. Gabe freaks out because he thinks he's brought the mummy back to life. But no! It turns out that Neela has brought the mummy back to life. She's stolen the summoner from Gabe. If you remember my video on the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, Gabe has, as a good luck charm, this mummified hand that he got at a garage sale, which turns out to be an actual ancient Egyptian relic with mystical powers that can be used to summon the souls of the dead. So Neela has used the summoner and the chant to bring Koru back to life because Neela, as it turns out, is an ancient Egyptian princess, the sister of Koru. So also she's a cousin of King Tut. If that family tree is an interesting connection for you. And so she wants both herself and Koru to reestablish pharaonic rule in Egypt, I guess. It's not 100% clear what the end game here is, but basically, Neela has brought her brother back to life. For her part, Neela has been alive for over 3,000 years. The way she has managed to maintain that life and her youth and beauty is by transforming into a scarab at night and sleeping encased in a piece of amber that during the day she wears as a necklace. Gabe also, actually at the beginning of the book, is given a similar scarab encased in amber by Uncle Ben as a present souvenir thing. So that's Neela's story. She's just a 3,000-year-old Egyptian princess looking for her brother. Unfortunately, that search for her brother also involves now needing to kill Ben, Gabe, and Sari because they know what's going on, and that's a problem, apparently. But in the struggle to kill everybody, Gabe accidentally grabs the amber necklace that Neela is wearing, breaks the chain, it falls to the ground and smashes, and Neela's like, no, that protected my life force. Now I'm going to turn into a scarab permanently. So that happens. Koru is basically like, well, this isn't good. I'm not a fan of this. I didn't want to be disturbed. That's why they wrote, do not disturb my rest over my tomb. Now I'm pissed. So, yeah, I'm going to go back to being a mummy now and also dead. So that's kind of the upshot of it. Yeah. Again, there's a lot of stuff that gets recycled from Curse of the Mummy's Tomb, but there's some major changes in Return of the Mummy. The most significant, I think, being that the antagonist here actually kind of is a mummy.